So did I jump the gun on canoe tripping season? Perhaps. And is it time to pull the plug on this trip? I would say so.
Black Bay. Sounds ominous. The sort of place you'd find storms, pirates, shipwrecks, treasure and jewels. But no, this is just a simple canoe trip with a dull lack of piracy. A simple trip to a suspected former volcano on a remarkable slice of wilderness jutting out into Lake Superior. At 50 kilometers long, Black Bay could be a massive lake on its own. It's bordered by the famous Sleeping Giant, and across the bay, the lesser-known Paps on the wild Black Bay Peninsula. You'll find little to nothing about the Paps out there, aside from a brief mention in this local guidebook. I'd seen these mysterious hills from afar before, in the most magical of circumstances. Strange things happened, like a predatory duck casually swimming down a bear, and this once-in-a-lifetime scene.
Hey, a rainbow. Showers just started, and oh my goodness, we've got a triple rainbow. 1, 2, 3, 4! There's a fourth rainbow! No way. Hope that's visible. That is unreal. I know I'm being the double rainbow guy right now, but that's 4 rainbows. Oh my goodness.
The Paps had the magic, and they'd stayed on my mind in the years since. So I was back to paddle to the base of them and give them a proper investigation on foot. But this early in the season, I'd have the last remnants of winter to deal with on the way, along with the imminent threat of death if you mess up on these icy waters. But I'm a careful fellow, typically averse to dying.
Starting out the first canoe trip of the season here on Lake Superior. Normally in this moment, the vibes are pretty immaculate, but on this lake, at ice out, deadly cold water, on a chilly and gray day, it feels a bit ominous, especially because I've got 7 kilometers to go across the mouth of Black Bay. There's a light chop right now, but I know it's gonna build. Got a short window to get this done. Should be fine. There are few small inhospitable islands if things really kick up, but should be all right. 7 kilometers is a good hour and a half paddling solo in the canoe. And things can change a fair bit in that time. There are the Paps in the distance. That's where I'm headed. That's island number 1 over there, 2 kilometers out. Let's do it. Got the first island behind me, and ahead there on the right, Gravel Island. Getting there. That's the Sleeping Giant in behind me. Gravel Island right here to the north. Taking a quick break here behind it, but gotta keep going before this chops up. A couple hours might be on the risky side for an open canoe. It's Hardscrabble Island in the distance. Edward Island behind it is the big one. This is more like it. Beautifully calm here and behind Edward Island. This is the vibe I crave in spring. Still plenty of snow hanging onto the rocks though. Stretching my legs after a good couple hours in the canoe. And here's where I'm planning on heading. I'm here in Horseshoe Cove. and I want to go along Edward and across Magnet Island. There's actually a magnetic disturbance there, and get into this section here. Fighting the wind again, coming up the other side of Edward Island. But at least all these islands and the Black Bay Peninsula break up the waves now, so it's not too bad. And the paps are coming into view again. Decided to call it quits here on this nice little sheltered beach. Great view, sunrise view, driftwood, and just a cozy little spot. Interesting rock feature there, good landing, and a spot for the hammock just behind the trees. So this morning I came in about 7 kilometers east of here from Silver Islet, crossed over the mouth of Black Bay, around Edward Island, and I'm in a little bay there. It was looking pretty chopped up in here. The wind is funneling down this way and getting stronger, so I'll save it for tomorrow. It's hot dogs for dinner tonight. I don't normally eat hot dogs, but there'd been a pack in the freezer for about a year, so it was time. Okay. Got a nip of scotch in here to wash dinner down, and I don't normally take ice in my scotch, but when it's available on a canoe trip, you just gotta. Otherwise you're not living. Walked out on the point in front of camp. It's just an awesome way to start the trip. Incredible view, open lake in front of me, and the paps to the north. So here's a look at the rest of this nautical chart. I just love these. They're beautiful maps. Really nice cartography work. Thunder Bay over here, Canada-US border, Isle Royale. And I left from here on the Sibley Peninsula. Some of you might know it as Sleeping Giant. It's a provincial park. Came across Edward Island, and Black Bay Peninsula is where I'm heading.
The Black Bay Peninsula is the largest singular landform in the region. Essentially roadless, its presence serves to isolate and provide a wilderness feel for all who paddle its exposed southern shore. The Black Bay Peninsula is known to have some of the highest concentrations of moose in the province.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a gorgeous day, so I'm going to be up before sunrise. Got my firewood prep ready for the morning, and hopefully be on my way very early tomorrow before anything kicks up. Walk down the shore a bit, and just around the corner, the mother lode of splash pools. What an amazing spot. This trip is really shaping up already. Frosty start to day 2, eating up some more stuff out of the fridge. Nothing says breakfast like pierogies and fried ham. Wolves. I can hear them in the distance. This is the dream. Glassy calm, dead quiet. Wolves howling this morning. The first hermit thrush of the season. Loon. This is good living. Gonna continue up Edward Island, and then I've got about 2-kilometer crossing over to Magnet Island in the Black Bay Peninsula after that. A little skimming of ice in here this morning. There's a terrific guidebook for the North Shore of Lake Superior, and in it notes Pringle Bay having an old shipwreck in it. Let's see if I can find it. That's pretty cool. Not a huge boat, pretty narrow. My canoe is 15 feet for reference. Some artifacts lying around. A dangerous lake. They are a terrible one to get stranded on. Okay, time to make the crossing over to Magnet. Going up the peninsula now through this huge island chain. It's just gorgeous here. Sun is out, not a soul around, and I'm keeping an eye out for good camps on these islands that I can use as a base to explore the paps right in front of me. Just pulled on shore to have a look at this for a campsite potentially. It's pretty good. Amazing sunrise view that way. A little channel here. But it's still fairly early, 1:30 or so. So I think I'm going to continue to the base of the paps and see if there's a good spot to set up there. And if not, maybe I'll come back here. It's a bit on the cold side for fishing, but there's a half decent inflow coming in here. Can't resist. Couldn't resist climbing up this ledge. What a view. Moose poop all over the place too. And an interesting landscape in behind. Stunted trees and shrubs. So raw here on the coast. If the view's this good here, it should be pretty spectacular up there. This rock beach is going to be home for night number 2. I chose it partly because it has that little break wall. So even if waves are coming in from the south, which they probably will be for my stay here, I can get out in the canoe and launch in a little calm spot. It's beautiful. Here, it's a bit of a war zone, but a good spot for the hammock right there. And then I can continue hiking that way right from camp tomorrow. Good old Mylar balloon. Found these in the craziest of places. Just air litter. Happy birthday. Well, I gotta use up these hot dogs. They were sketchy before the trip, so I don't want to lose them. It's a quad tonight. 7 hot dogs in 24 hours. In behind camp, there's tons of animal sign. In short order, I found 3 bear poops and a bunch more moose poop. And the moose are just grazing all these shrubs like crazy. You can see they're all nibbled off, stunted looking. Be interesting to see if anything turns up. Well, it finally happened. No surprise in this moose country. I've got a tick embedded on me. It's changing. Gotta get tweezers and get it out. Wow. Just noticed another one on my camp shoes too. They were just on the ground. Oh, this is nasty. That is nasty. I just stripped down and checked every inch of myself with a little mirror that I carry. And I've got at least probably a 2-hour bushwhack to the top of the hill there tomorrow through pretty dense bush. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be diligent. Anyway, I'm really excited for it. Settling in here with some gray owl. Gorgeous start to day 3. A nice hearty burrito bowl, and I'm going to start this bushwhack right after this. Ticks are top of mind right now. All night I had phantom ticks on me. I just checked. I felt like a little twinge and had to check every time. All set to head out. I'm camped on that tiny peninsula there. And yeah, it should be about 2-kilometer bushwhack, unless there's a lot of snaking. On my way. Hopefully I can connect relatively open spaces like this. This is quite good for this area. Quite an unusual landscape for this area. Really cool. That's some fresh moose poop. Spruce grouse. Look at that beautiful red cap. Following the moose tracks so that I don't have to plunge into the snow. Here's the work of a porcupine, chewing the bark off the trunk. Okay, back in the open area. Just heard a stick break up there. Hey-o. Yeah, there's something just on the other side of those trees. Just heard it again, and it's over on that way, so hopefully I'm okay here. More sticks breaking over there. Back in a wooded section. 1.5 kilometers in, and about halfway there. So it took an hour to get a kilometer and a half. I could just walk right past one. I can hear it, I can't see it. Don't think I've ever seen more moose poop. Wow. Look how well worn this game trail is. I've never seen such a clean chewed stump. And this one is broken off, which makes me think it's moose rather than porcupine. Just gnawing at it, rubbing its antlers on it, I don't know. I'm kind of cliffed out here. See if I can go around wide. What a view. So the Voyageur is called the Paps les Mamelles, which in French I think means udders of a cow. They do kind of have that profile upside down. This view is getting pretty incredible. Wow, there's a sleeping giant too. Well, this is the lookout platform for a bushwhack hike. Incredible. I'm camped down there. I came around the peninsula, around Edward Island out there. And that sleeping giant in the distance, what a unique view of it. And the north side of Edward Island and Miles Bay on this side appear to be iced in still, so that's good to know because one of those was probably my next stop. Getting close. Harry! I've reached the top! Here it is, the top. Nowhere left to climb and no view. So I'm gonna go to the edges and have a look. Here we go. I'm sure very few people come up here, but I figured someone must have left some marker, and there you have it. Whew. And the little view to the north, Black Bay is a good 50 kilometers long. As you can see, it's all iced in still, except here at the mouth. And there's a little frozen lake in between there. What gorgeous country. There's actually a little cabin on that lake. Trapper's cabin, maybe. That's actually Cowie Bay there. Miles Bay is way out of view, so, but it probably also is iced in. Just took in the view here for at least half an hour. Totally worth it. Thought about turning back a few times, but this is amazing. It's such a unique view. So seldom seen. Probably gonna take me a couple hours to get back to camp. Back to camp, went a lot faster coming back, and I have time to move today, and I think I'm going to, there's a chop building, but tomorrow's supposed to be a nasty day, lots of rain and potentially a big thunderstorm. So I think I'd take this over the rain. Just gonna have a quick lunch and then get going. And I checked myself pretty thoroughly, no ticks. That's a relief. Maybe it was the warmer temperatures yesterday that brought them out. Found another one while packing up. Gonna have to be super vigilant the rest of the trip. Sorry, buddy. They're hard to break. It's such a hard shell. Just gross. On the way, mission accomplished with the hike, and the drop is actually settling down. The wind seemed like it was building. See where I end up. See what the ice is like on the other side of the peninsula. Otter. Breeze coming in off the lake is ice cold, and I rarely take water directly from the lake. It's just not usually worth the risk, but with water blowing out from the open lake, it's about as pure as it'll get. Let's give it a taste. Water. It's water. This section is very exposed, so it's good to get it over with. Excellent paddling conditions continue. This is great. Imagine you're driving in the desert in the middle of nowhere, come up to a small town, and it looks like it hasn't changed in 100 years. This is the paddling equivalent of that. A weird place. Only guess it used to be a commercial fishing camp. Bizarre. Rounding the corner, back into Black Bay. Rain on the horizon there. If I could get a tarp up before that rain hits, that would be a good thing. It is pretty cold. Coming into Shell Bay, where there's some islands that I was thinking might work for a camp. Looks like the rain's gonna beat me there though. Fair bit of ice here on this point. With all the ice down at the other end of Black Bay, I'm worried about it getting blown out and then kind of trapping me. Maybe I'm better off sticking closer to the mouth. Sometimes on Superior you can find campsites everywhere. Other times it's a struggle. I'm coming up to Cowie Bay now, so I'll probably just go past that point and have a look down up the bay and see what it looks like. It's past 6 o'clock and pretty chilly, so I can't wait to make camp. Coming into the mouth of Miles Bay now. Miles Bay is starting to look like it's iced in. I don't know. It doesn't look hospitable anyway, so I'm gonna turn around and try and find something. It's getting late. Oh, I think this is gonna be it. There's a bush plane flying around. I think they're practicing water bombing for like forest firefighting. Quite a view. That racket was. Normally that's the last thing I want to hear out here, but that's quite a show. Got warm sweaters on. Oh, yeah. This is awesome. So here it is, Camp 3. Nice lofty pitch for the tarp. I'm gonna have to bring it down tomorrow. The storm. And just a wonderful view of Black Bay. It's one of those campsites that didn't look too promising, but it's actually pretty sweet. I'm ready to hop in. Whew. Settled in at last. One of those days where you skip dinner because you just want to get in bed. Had a handful of nuts and some chocolate and a nightcap. It's a good thing days are getting long now because I was going for 14 hours today. What a day. I was up on the peak earlier this morning, like, wow. That was a good one. Gloomy start to day 4, and it's gonna stay that way. 40 mils of rain forecast for today. Non-calzones and coffee on the way. Just gonna stay warm and cozy today. Temps in the single digits, non-stop torrential downpours. No thanks, I'll stay put. Well, it's been a damp, slow day as expected, but also one of those days where you're just happy to be dry and warm. It's been pretty nasty until just now. The sun just broke through and it's just looking magical. There's a thunderstorm in the forecast coming up, and I'm starting to hear it now. Thunder is one of my favorite sounds in nature, but this one might top it. Listen to that. You can hear the rain coming across the lake. It was a nasty night here and a nastier morning. There are flurries, an ugly north wind blowing out of Black Bay, and it's carried a bunch of ice here that's blocked me in. Some of them are very substantial pieces too, not something you can just push aside. So did I jump the gun on canoe tripping season? Perhaps. And is it time to pull the plug on this trip? I would say so. But I can't do that yet. Cannot cross back Black Bay safely in these conditions, and I can't even get out right now. So let's just hope that things change over the course of the day. There might be a window for the wind and waves this evening or very early this morning, but I've got to get out now too, so it's gonna be an interesting day. Rehydrated chili and garlic naan for breakfast this morning. There's a big ice flow coming in from Black Bay, and I'm starting to get a bit concerned. I'm going to go down to 2 meals per day immediately. I did yesterday too, actually, just in case I get pinned down here, because yeah, there's an enormous ice sheet out in front of me blocking basically right across the bay. Sleeping giants across the bays where I need to get back to. It's supposed to clear up this afternoon, get sunny and fairly calm in the evening. Hopefully I'll get a chance. It's just after 4 o'clock now and the wind is finally settling down. think I can get out and make this crossing. It's just going to be an awkward launch with the ice floes around the shoreline, but should be able to get across, which is good because in the forecast I probably wouldn't get another chance for 3 days. So I gotta go for it. Well, the water bomber just came back out. Looks like it's practicing in a new area today, which is good because before it was practicing exactly where I need to go through today. So all of this would be really awkward to try and launch through, but there's one floe that's pretty much stuck in here. I'm standing on it, and I think this will be my slip right here. These things are heavy. Wouldn't want them squishing my ankle between them. Let me give it a shot. Feels good to be back paddling too. One last look at the paps there. As much as I've been stifled by the conditions on this trip, still mission accomplished. I got up there. And these floating blocks of ice aren't posing any issue right now. They're just randomly around. So if I want to get this done in one shot today, I've got about a 28-kilometer paddle. So it's going to be a late one since it's already just after 5. I'm going to head down the peninsula a little bit, where it's the smallest crossing over to Edward Island, the northeast tip of the island, and then carry along it and island hop back to the Sibley Peninsula, the other side of the bay. Okay, crossing number 1. A little ice minefield here, easily navigated. Coming around the west side of Edward now. It's a relief to have at least the first leg done, and conditions should only get better from here, so it should be all good. This is pretty beautiful. I also just found somewhere to pee for the first time in, I don't know, 2.5 hours that I've been in the canoe. There's been ice lining the shoreline everywhere, and that was quite a relief. Beautiful paddle here on this side of the island. Well, for a utilitarian hammer it out style paddle, this is really shaping up. There's a feature right in front of me called Little Gibraltar Rock, and from there I'm going to skip across to Cranberry Island, I think. Change it up a little instead of going from hard scrabble to gravel. And I've got the sun setting behind Sleeping Giant as I paddle along. Not too shabby. Passing Cranberry. Back across the bay. That's a good feeling. And it's hard to believe this is the same place I was looking at 6 hours ago. All churned up, but it's been a beautiful outro to this experience, and I was somewhat limited by the conditions, but the saying goes, limitations breed creativity. And creativity is not necessarily the right word, but it was a unique experience anyway. Saw the Paps and more of Black Bay. This lake never ceases to amaze. Got about 7 kilometers left to the access point along the shore here.